Right, we're moving on from that question and we're doing this one. This is question 9 in the assess. Just a couple more just to finish off. We've done one of these before, these lovely blocks of cheese. I've got a roof is 14 metres long. There it is, 14 metres. It is 3.5 wide because we're looking at it from the top. And in other words, AX is 3.5. And the top ridge from X to Y across there is, sorry, not X to Y. The top ridge, XY, is 2.5 meters above the base. Essentially, there it is. It's a triangular prism. There it is. There's all the dimensions. Essentially, let's just do some maths. Calculate the length of AY. Well, AY is that one across there. Let's just draw it in red, as I usually do. A to Y, lovely. I've got a beautiful triangle, and let me just show you that. Pen, please. Thank you. There's a right angle triangle. AY is the hypotenuse of that triangle there. There's the 14. Oops. I don't know what YB is, so I've got to work out YB. But hold your horses. YB is the same as XA, which is 3.5 meters. Therefore, I'm now going to work out AY. So here I go. AY, just call that squared, equals 14 squared plus 3.5 squared. Just get an answer for that little bit alone. So 14 squared plus 3.5 squared. Again, calculators can clearly handle that, can you see? And then just press equals there. I've got 208.25, so therefore AY is going to be the square root of that. Good to show this last step before you get your full marks with the answer. Now we're going to root that. I'm given 14.4. It does say give you answers to 3 significant figures. It says here 14.43. The 3 won't do anything, but that's it. I've got 3 significant figures there, and that's that one. Now I've got to work out A to C. Where's A to C? It's another one of these things along the floor, isn't it? A to C. There it is. Oh, very badly drawn. Start again. A to C. Perfectly drawn. Well, it's a hypotenuse. A to B is 14, but I don't know what B to C is, so I've got to work out B to C using the 3.5 and the 2.5 there. Alright, so let's just do that first. Got to do it first. So BC squared is going to be the hypotenuse squared, 3.5, minus the 2.5 squared, of course. Just do that quickly. So 3.5 squared, take away the 2.5 height squared, and that gives me exactly 6. Oh, that's good. So BC alone is going to be root 6, which is something small. Yep, 2.449. So I'm going to go for 2.45 there and just write it into my storyline. 2.45. Now I've got a 14 and a 2.45 there. I can work out the hypotenuse AC. Please note I'm in the assess. I'm not drawing little triangles for you here on the green background. I'm just going to jump straight in. So AC is what they actually want. Now let's do it properly. So let's go, therefore AC is going to be the 14 squared plus the 2.45 squared and then square rooted. Right, I'm doing that in one step. So 14 squared, I'm not sure what that is. 14 times 14. Oh dear, 196. I should have known that. 196. And the 2.45 squared was the 6 before I rooted it. So just add on 6. That'll give me 202. And therefore, oops, this should be rooted, of course. Therefore, AC is going to be the root of 202. Let's just root that quickly. Yep, 14.21, 14.2. So 14.2 for that one. So what do we got then? A to Y is 14.4. Obviously AC is going to have to be smaller. I'm glad it's smaller than its hypotenuse of AY. So it's perfectly correct, isn't it? Now BC. Isn't this silly? They asked me to work out BC. I needed BC to work out AC. Terrible. Anyway, there's BC. I've done it to 3 significant figures, and that's my AC and that's my AY. That was backwards, but never mind. It's all there and it's done. Now let's just turn over something delightful. This is truly shocking and difficult, and it's also quite shocking. Did I mention difficult? Yeah, it's shocking as well. Now 3 circles fit inside a rectangle as shown. That's 50 across there, and that's a mystery length, and ultimately the punchline is work out L, the length of the triangle, the rectangle, sorry. Now I've got 2 circles which are identical, are within the rectangle, and I've got a third larger one. Now the circles have radii 9, 9, 25. I'm guessing the big one has a radius of 25 because it's bigger than the radius of 9 for these little ones here. So I know from here to here is 50 because it's 2 25s. I know from there to the centre is 25. I know these radii from there to, well, to any direction really touching the circumference will be 4.5. Will be 9. Ugh. So let's just do some construction. Now look, I want the length L. Ultimately, you can't get this directly. I've joined centre of big circle to centre of little circle. I'm joining centre of little circle to centre of other little circle. I'm now joining centre of little circle to centre of big circle. I'm now going from centre of big circle to the left hand edge of the rectangle touching the circumference. I'm now going to go from the centre of this line here to the edge of the other side of the rectangle. Alright, essentially what I must do is to work out that length, which is easy, that's 25. I know this length is effectively the radius of these 2 smaller circles, so I know that bit is 9. If I can work out this middle part here, I've got this plus this plus this, and I've nailed it. Let's just write in what we know for now. Radius of the large circle 25. Radius of the small circle, which is from here to here, and all these little red lines here from there to there, is 9. Let's put a 9 there, forget about it. Now let's just change colour. I want to highlight something. I must work out the length of that blue line right there. I've joined that beautifully. So 25 plus blue line plus 9 equals the length of the rectangle. Thing is getting it. Now I know from here to here is 25, radius of the big circle, and I know from here to here we have a radius of 9, radius of the little circle. So 25 plus 9 gives me 34. So straight away I know the hypotenuse length of the triangle I've just constructed. 25 plus 9, 34 centimetres. Now the tricky part is working out a distance between that centre to the line right there where the blue line ends. Now work with me on this one. You know from here to here is also 50 centimetres. It's a rectangle. It corresponds to the opposite side over there. I know the length from here to here is 18 because that is the diameter of the small circle. I know the length from the bottom to the top of this circle here is another diameter, also 18. I know that 18 plus 18 is 36. I know that 50 take away 36 is, I can't do this one, 14. Is that alright? Therefore each little part must be 7 centimetres in length. And by that I mean from here to here must be 7. I'm going to put a 7 there. And I know from the centre to the circumference is the radius of the small circle. So that part is 9. Essentially what I have is a triangle which is right angled, well, one on each side, but we only need to work with one of them because we want to get the blue line. We have a hypotenuse of 34 and a small side of 16 centimetres. Let me just check that again in case I made a mistake. The diameter of the small circle is 18. The diameter of this small circle is 18. 2 18s are 36. When I subtract that from the whole length of this side of the rectangle, I have 14 left over. Therefore, from here to here is a full length of 14 centimetres, but I'm cutting it in half using my blue line that becomes a red line towards the end. Therefore, each little half is worth 7 centimeters in length. Therefore, the height of my triangle is 16 centimeters. So here I go. I'm going to redraw my triangle like so. This is the tricky part. 34, let's call this line X, and I've established eventually that this right angle triangle has a height of 16, and this is my blue line, which we're going to call X. And the length of my rectangle will be 25 plus my X, which I'm about to work out, plus that little line across there. And then I've got my answers. So here I go. X is going to be 34 squared, the hypotenuse, take away 16 squared, the height of the small side, and then we're going to square root it. Let's just do that in one hit. So 34 squared minus 16 squared equals, comes to 900. Okay, so 900. Now on to root that, and I know the answer is 30 straight away. So X equals 30. So in this storyline, I'm going to put a quick 30 down there. And look, I've got a 25, I've got a 30, and I've got a 9. So therefore, my length is going to be 25, plus my X is 30, plus this little bit here, the radius of the small circle is 9. And altogether I have 64 centimeter length. Let's just check that. 55 and 9. The 5 onto that is 64 left over. 64. And that's quite tricky, I'm sure. Right, so I had to plan that one slightly, just a little bit, just to get my head round it. It's quite tricky trying to create a triangle which is right angled, which allows you to do Pythagoras, which gives you one of the lengths that you essentially need to work out the length of a rectangle, and then just go on from there. Well, there it is. Mathematically, very, very easy. It's just Pythagoras trapped inside circles, trapped inside rectangles. Definitely grade B. That's that one. And it makes question 4 in the AQA assess part. Question 4, really, really easy. All two-dimensional, nothing to worry about. We're about to finish this. Isosceles triangle. Okay, not a problem. That's the same as that. I get it. That's got a height h. This has got a base of 8, so I reckon each side's going to be 4. There you go. I've got a hypotenuse of 5, a small side of 4, and a small side of h. Calculate the area of the triangle ABC, show all your working and state your units. Well, let's just state my units now. It's going to be in centimetre square, good old area of a triangle. You know the area of a triangle, half base times the height. Problem is I don't know the height, so I'm going to work it out using good old Pythag. So h is a baby side, so the height's going to be the hypotenuse squared. Let's use the right hand side. Take away the other small side squared, there it is, and then I'm going to square root it. So I've got 25 take away 16, so 25 minus 16 gives me 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. Therefore, the height is 3 centimeters. Just put it in there for funsies. What's the area of the triangle? Well, here it is, very basic. It's going to be half times the base times the height, which is a half of 8 times 3. Half of 24 is going to be 12 centimeters square. And that is it. That's quite a cute little grade C question. No more than that. It's a straightforward Pythagoras, nothing 3D there. It's only half base times height, grade D in fact. And altogether a grade C question. A lovely way to finish the assess. Great way to finish Pythagoras up to grade A. And that's the end of it. I'll be preparing for chapter 11 quite soon, and I'll see you there when you're ready. Your job is to study absolutely everything.